Aerobic respiration. Take a look at the diagram there. You can see that during glycolysis, pyruvic acid is produced, and you can see that 2 ATP is the amount of energy produced during glycolysis. And then if there is a presence of oxygen, Krebs cycles set in, and you can see that the byproduct there is CO2, and then we have about 36 ATP. You can see that the hydrogen undergoes an electron transport system and reacts with oxygen there as to produce water, which is also another byproduct. Now, remember we said after glycolysis, if there is an absence of oxygen, then anaerobic respiration sets in. So let's take a look at anaerobic respiration. Now, we have about 2 types of anaerobic respiration. 2 types of anaerobic respiration. We have what we call the lactic acid fermentation. We also have the alcohol fermentation. I repeat, we have the lactic acid fermentation, and then we have the alcohol fermentation. Please take note of this. Aerobic respiration occurs in animal cells. Please take note of this. Aerobic respiration occurs in animal cells, while anaerobic respiration occurs in plant and animal cells. Plant and animal cells is very important. Next is, we talked about the types. We said types of anaerobic respiration. I said we have what we call the lactic acid fermentation, and then we have the alcohol fermentation. Now, lactic acid fermentation occurs in animals, while the alcohol fermentation occurs in plant cells. Now, let's take a look at lactic acid fermentation. What happens during lactic acid fermentation? Like we said, it occurs in animal cells. Some of the animal cells you see lactic acid fermentation is in bacteria, mostly anaerobic bacteria, and also in the muscles of humans, Now, during strenuous exercises, enough energy is not usually supplied to the muscles. During strenuous exercises, enough energy is not usually supplied to the muscles as to produce greater amount of energy for the body to use. Hence, glucose is still broken down into lactic acid. Based on the absence of oxygen, glucose is still broken down. These are controlled by enzymes, broken down, but with small amount of energy being produced. Lactic acid is formed in the muscles during strenuous exercises, and also small amount of energy is released. Now, this lactic acid, if it accumulates in the muscles, it increases the acidity inside of the muscles, and it can lead to what we call muscle cramps and so many other things like the muscle pull. All right, that's where most athletes experience the muscle pull, the muscle cramps. It is simply as a result of the accumulation. It is based on the accumulation of lactic